Have you ever felt that pull in your gut? That moment when you knew you could help someone, but maybe fear was holding you back? Well, what if I told you that the moments that scare you the most are actually pointing towards, areas where you could have your greatest impact? And here's a thought that might challenge everything you believe when it comes to courage. What if fear isn't a warning to stop, but a signal that you're about to do something that is meaningful? If any of these things resonate with you, you're going to want to stick around and watch this video. My name is Talbert. I'm the founder and author over at the GIVER method. And today we're going to be diving into something that might make you feel uncomfortable, and that's this idea of courage. Not like the jumping off of cliffs kind, but everyday courage it takes to truly share your gifts and your superpowers with the world. Now, before we dive into that, please, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, of course. Comment your thoughts along the way. I'd love to hear what you think. Share it with someone who may need it, like the video, all that type of stuff. Now, you're going to hear me talk about things like the GIVER method, or use the term GIVER. Now, GIVER, just real quick, there's videos on our channel that you can go check out that break down everything about the GIVER method. But it's a framework designed to help people to discover and develop their gifts and superpowers so they can provide more value to people, and that they can deepen the relationships that they have. Now, part of that development of your gifts and superpowers requires courage. And oftentimes people come to us and they've got things like fear, imposter syndrome, things along those lines. So they're worried about stepping out into their own. And so that's one of the reasons why we're going to be covering this today. So you can check us out, givermethod.com, if you want more information. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure, once again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe. We want you to make sure that you're don't miss out on any of the content that we release about unleashing your gifts and superpowers to create a positive change. Now, as I go through these items, I'm going to cover the item, and then for every one of them, I'm going to have like an action item or an action step that you could do. Typically, these are things that you could do today or this week or this month to start seeing a change and start to build up the courage that you need to start making that greater impact. So I recommend you get a piece of paper or you open a note so you can jot down your thoughts while I give those, because it's not about what happens here in the video. Yeah, it's great that you're watching this, but what really matters is you putting the things we talk about into action so that it can make that change in your life. So give you a second to get a piece of paper or open up a note if you want to pause the video real quick. Okay, so maybe you did, maybe you didn't. We'll go. All right, so our first one that I want to dive into is the first principle or idea is understanding true courage. So let's bust away the myth. Courage isn't about being fearless, but it's about taking action despite your fears. Many people think that courage means never feeling afraid, but that's far from the truth. Imagine courage, it's like a muscle, and it grows and strengthens each time you use it. Every small step, each moment that you choose to act, maybe despite the fear that you have, builds a foundation for greater acts of bravery down the line. Courage really is about taking one step at a time, even when maybe the entire path isn't visible. It could start with speaking up in a meeting, or taking lead on a project, or talking to someone and that you need to have a hard conversation with friends or family. Like as you build this courage muscle, you're going to find that what you once felt daunting seems within reach. Like this gradual approach, it is what takes courage, it's what makes courage sustainable, allowing you to face bigger and bolder challenges as you go. If you've never read the book, my wife recently made me read the book 5-Second Rule about stepping out and just taking action. If you've never read it, I highly recommend it. It will help with this principle. So the action step for this item is going to be to start, I believe in journaling, doing daily journals and weekly reflections. So in your journal, add a section that you could just title Courage. And document daily acts you do of bravery. Each day take note of small acts of courage, whether it's speaking up, it's offering help to someone who needs it, is sharing a personal idea you typically would keep to yourself. Like write down what you did, how you felt when you did it, and maybe what the outcome was. At the end of the week, when you reflect on things, review your entries and notice how these small acts really contribute to a growing sense of confidence and resilience. Over time, as you practice this, it's going to reveal patterns to help you see the tangible effects of courage on your self-trust and your sense of capability. Now, our second one is about, it's the fear-gift connection. So here's something fascinating. Often our biggest fears are directly connected to our most valuable gifts. So think about a time where you felt nervous or hesitant to share an idea or lend a hand or take on a challenge. Often that nervous energy isn't warning you to stay away, but rather it's an indication that you're about to engage in something that's much more meaningful. Like, fear in these moments is a sign that you're tapping into your deeper gifts. So those that can really create an impact, these gifts that create an impact and that resonate with others. So embracing this connection between fear and your gifts allows you to see that nervousness not as an obstacle, but really a doorway of what's possible. And the more you lean into these moments, the more you're going to grow in your ability to share your unique contributions, no matter how uneasy it might make you feel. And so an action step here I would throw out there is to look for maybe 3 areas in your life where nervous energy surfaces. Things that make you just feel uneasy but could bring value to others if you shared them. For example, if you have an idea that you've kept to yourself or a skill you haven't showcased, advice that you've been hesitant to give, choose one of these acts this week. And before taking the step, note down your specific fears. After taking the action, reflect on the actual outcome. Often, reality turns out to be far less intimidating than what our imagination played it out to be. So this exercise is going to help you to see fear as a guide, leading you towards your most impactful gifts. Now, the next one is going to be about authenticity and how you factor in authenticity, because being courageous doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. In reality, the most impactful courage stems just simply from being exactly who you are, with all your weirdness, all your quirks, ideas, and values. So true courage is found in authenticity, in speaking your truth, in showing up as yourself, and embracing the qualities that make you you. Often, it's our willingness to be authentic that allows others to see the value of our contributions. So be genuine. It fosters so much more trust, making people more receptive to what your gifts are. And remember that the world needs your perspective exactly as it is. You're the only person that has your unique set of gifts, superpowers, and perspectives. And so the action item here is going to be to think of a quality that sets you apart. Something that's uniquely you, that usually maybe, and could be something about in your personal style, your unique perspective, or quirky sense of humor. Find a situation this week where you can intentionally let this quality shine, and observe how embracing that part not only feels like what's the feeling you have, but it also makes others around you feel more comfortable showing their true selves. And over time, this authenticity builds trust and enhances the impact of your interactions. Now, the next one's about building a courage community. Now, I'm going to just briefly cover this one, but the idea is, in the GIVER method, I often talk it's about community. It's about that community of who in your family, your friends, your coworkers, mentors, things like that. You have to build a community. When you surround yourself with others who are also stepping into their gifts, something incredible happens and your courage will grow. Watching others navigate their fears, take brave actions reminds us that we too are capable of doing that. So that community amplifies our courage because it provides us a support network, source of inspiration, and a space to celebrate our wins. So action step here is pretty easy. Establish or join some sort of a courage circle, like a group, whatever. Find maybe just 2 or 3 people who are committed to stepping into their strengths. This could be virtual or in person, where you share your goals, you discuss fears, you celebrate wins, and you dedicate time each week to meet and support each other, perhaps by sharing updates or giving feedback or brainstorming ideas for each other's challenges. And think of the shared accountability and support that can make courageous steps feel more achievable as you realize that you're not alone in that journey. Now, the next one I talk a lot about in the GIVER Method book, which comes out next month. If you want to go to thegivermethod.com and get on the notification list for when it comes out, one of the topics we cover a lot is this, the ripple effect. And now there is a ripple effect when it comes to your courage, because when you have courage to use your superpower, something magical happens. You choose to act bravely, you use your superpowers. You aren't just creating an impact for yourself, but you're offering silent permission for others to step up as well. So each brave action that you take sends a message that it's okay to be vulnerable, to take risks, and to stand out. So it could be sharing a story, introducing an idea, being a champion for some sort of a cause. Your courage will become that invitation for others to discover what their own gifts are. And so in this way, one courageous act can inspire countless others. So your courage becomes the beacon, encouraging others to find and use their own light. Now, the action item here is going to be to share a personal story about your courage journey, maybe with friends and family, with your team on social media, friends throughout the week. Include both the challenges you faced and the positive outcomes that followed. This transparency is going to show others that courage isn't about perfection, but it's about moving forward despite that discomfort. And sharing these types of experiences, you offer others unspoken invitation to brave their own steps. And watch how your story could resonate with them and even inspire them to take action. Now, the next point I want to cover, principle idea, is courage and making it sustainable. Because courage often is thought of as these grand gestures, when in reality, sustainable courage is built through small and consistent acts over time. So think of it like, compound interest. Each small act of courage is going to build upon the last one, gradually creating momentum that enables you to take on bigger challenges. So sustainable courage doesn't exhaust you. It energizes you. It allows you to, make courage a part of your everyday life. Small acts mean, volunteering on things, like on a project, speaking up on an idea, helping someone in need. Like, they seem like minor actions, but as they accumulate, they're going to really build that natural courage and make it become a second nature to you. And over time, you're going to find that you're facing larger challenges with much greater ease, knowing that you've built the strength to see through them. And so the action item here is going to be to choose one small act of courage that you can commit to doing daily for the next week, let's say. And, whether, like we talked about, contributing to ideas in a meeting, or checking in on someone who might need support, offering a skill to someone who could benefit. Like, keep track of it, use that journal, and track your daily practices of influence and how it impacted your confidence. And by the end of the week, reflect on any changes in your comfort level with these actions, because this small but consistent practice of courage will build a foundation that makes larger steps feel more manageable. Now, the next one is like this idea of recovery and factoring in recovery. There's something we don't talk about enough, and that courage isn't about taking action. While courage is often associated with bold actions, equally important is how we handle situations when things don't go as planned. So true courage is about the ability to recover from our setbacks, to learn and build resilience through the stumbling blocks we may have had. So it's about understanding that failure isn't a stopping point, but a stepping stone, and how you choose to respond to those challenges shapes your courage as much as any bold move could. This resilience turns setbacks into lessons and strengths, and your commitment to keep going, knowing that each stumbling is going to bring in those new insights. So action item here is going to be develop some sort of a resilience plan that outlines 2 to 3 strategies for bouncing back when things don't go as expected. How do you move past that? Write down ways to reinforce to refocus yourself after these setbacks, whether it's through a quick mental reset, reaching out to a trusted friend or family member on their perspective, revisiting your purpose, your values, and reminding yourself of your bigger picture impact you're trying to make. Include, specific people who you can contact and for support, and notes on how you'll learn, how you're going to remind yourself that setbacks are a natural part of growth. So this plan, it's going to really help you to maintain momentum even when challenges arise, ensuring that resilience becomes part of your courage journey. Now, courage within the GIVER method, when we talk about becoming a giver, courage really is essential in every step. It takes courage to discover your gifts, as it requires self-reflection. It requires honesty, what makes you as you develop them. These gifts, the gift is also about being courageous, because as a means of dedicating time and energy to growth, often it's in the face of doubt or uncertainty. And of course, finally, sharing your gifts with the world is perhaps one of the most courageous steps that you take. Each time that you choose to act with courage, you're strengthening your ability to create meaningful impact. So courage is the thread that weaves through all aspects of the GIVER method, allowing you to grow in your self-awareness, but also create value and create deeper connections with those around you, and ultimately step into the role, your role as being a giver. So this week, take a look at the unique gifts and superpowers you have, and choose one that you've been maybe hesitant to share fully, and create a plan. Create a week, a 2-week, a 30-day action plan to start using it more openly, and break down your goals into really manageable steps, such as sharing your gifts with a small group, or incorporating it in a project, or volunteering to help someone in need. Gradually increasing your comfort with expressing this gift, you're going to find that your courage grows alongside your confidence, allowing you to make impact in ways that you may have never thought were possible. So just remember that your superpowers, your unique gifts and talents, the world does need them. Yes, it's going to take courage to share them. Yes, it's going to feel scary. Yes, you're going to experience imposter syndrome, but the impact you could have on the lives, the lives that you could touch, Like, there's such a positive change that you could create, and that's worth being brave. And so just start small. Take the small actions. Take one courageous step today. Share a gift, help a person, speak up, and then do it again tomorrow, and then do it again, and then look for those ways that you start seeing it show up bigger and bigger in your life. So if you're ready to build on that courage, make a bigger impact, discover gifts and superpowers, once again, go to thegivermethod.com and sign up for our newsletter, and we're going to send you exclusive tips and insights about using your superpowers to create positive change. Go find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Leave us a comment here, like the video if it resonates with you, or share it with someone who maybe needs that courageous push as well. Like, that's the biggest part of sharing is, we want to make sure that we're making that as big of an impact as possible. In the comments, tell us about one courageous step that you're going to take this week. What are you going to commit to? Your share might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. So with that, until next time, please keep growing, keep giving, and remember that courage to share your gifts could be exactly what someone else needs today. And with that, have a great rest of your day. It's Halloween. Have a great Halloween, and we will catch you in the next video.